There is something incredibly beautiful about this time of year as everything breaks through the ground and there's so much new life around us. I just stand amazed at God's creation. And good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful morning here. It was a frosty morning. I mean, there was a lot of thick frost on the grass and, on the sidewalks and things like that, wherever there was some moisture. But it is a beautiful day. I love hearing the birds sing. I really hope that you can hear the birds singing when I was out in the garden. But anyways, yeah. Oh my, I know, I got to apologize to everybody because I'm either a day or 2 days behind. I mean, here we are. This is going to be going up on Thursday, and I wanted to try to make sure that when I put up my videos weekly that I would at least put them up by Tuesday, Wednesday, and this week just kind of got away from me, mainly because Rick hasn't been working. Yeah, he's been home. So I'm going to use him as an excuse. Probably not a good excuse, but an excuse. So anyways, I wanted to show you a couple things, so hold on a minute. I'm going to get them, and I'll be right back. I don't know if you can hear Missy in the background, but yeah, somebody came to the door, and so she's in the study behind a closed door, and yeah, she's protecting her home. But anyways, I wanted to show you these little chickens. Aren't they adorable? Yeah, they're little chickens. On their little feet are, oh my goodness, thread from thread. And yeah, I just thought they were really cute. But one of the ladies at our church made these and put them in little bags to give out to all the mothers on a Mother's Day, because that was the first day that we were able to be back in church. So I live in Pennsylvania, and if you could follow the guidelines of of being 6 feet or more apart, and all the fun stuff with sanitation and everything, we had to clean the church really well and disinfect it, and then we had to have sanitation stations is what we set up with masks. They weren't required to wear inside, but we had them available for the people if they wanted. And so, yeah, also it needed to be no more than 25 people. The governor, there was like over 800 religious leaders that had a telephone conference with the governor's people, I guess you'd call it that. I mean, it's not like they talked to the governor, but so what basically they wanted was for the churches to keep it under a certain amount of people and, just be smart, basically, is what they were saying. And we didn't pass the offering plate. We had it on the altar, and then we had one back near the entrance. We didn't have anybody handing out the bulletins and greeting people. We just had the bulletins sitting next to the offering plate so that as they came in, they could take a bulletin and put money into the offering if they desired. And so, yeah, we just played everything really smart. We are finding little individual containers or something that the ladies at our church are still trying to figure it out for communion, so that when next month comes that for communion, that it can be sealed and not be a problem. But anyways, that's kind of what we're still figuring that one out. But yeah, we had a wonderful Mother's Day, and it was so nice to see everybody. And yeah, so what can I say? It was a good day. And that's why I was able to get these little chickens. So yeah, they're just adorable. And yeah, besides that, I wanted to show you how my plants are coming along. But as you can see, they are growing very, very nicely. Now, these down here, these are the ones that I got at a nursery. I was able to get the rosemary, the red peppers, I believe, some tomatoes, and parsley. But those down behind there, those are my squash and basil, and yeah, I think I'm going to have to go around the corner. Yeah, so I have some green basil, some purple basil. I have the squash. I'm able to get some zucchini, and they're right there. And I'll tell you about that in a minute. And then my tomatoes, they were just really, remember I said I put too many, like I must have dropped more in than I realized. So I went ahead and I separated them there, except for the one. I still need to separate that one. But I think they're coming along pretty good. And that happens to be the only pepper plant that ever even came up. But over in the other case, and I apologize, the sun is really coming in brightly. I even tried to block some of it, and it's still hard to see. But yeah, I planted some more beans, so hopefully these will come up too. I did have a couple, forgot to show them to you, but I did have a couple come up. But this is one of the zucchini plants that came from a place just up the street. I didn't even know they existed. They grow what's called hydroponics, and it's where they mainly use water, and they just have little plugs of dirt that they put the seed into, and then it's just fed with water that has nutrients in the water to get everything to grow well. But they are a place, I mean, they sell vegetables, they sell the lettuce, they sell everything. And I learned about them through where I get my milk. And so I called him up, or actually I texted him because he has a Facebook page, and I asked him if it would be at all possible for me to get some zucchini plants. Because of the COVID-19, I couldn't find any zucchini seeds. And so he was kind enough to, sell me 4 little plants. And actually, there's 2 plants in this one, so actually I ended up with 5. But yeah, I just thought that was really great. They were 2 for $3, so that's really inexpensive for a nice plant. Now, I planted them in here with some starter soil because, I mean, basically they've been in water except for just a tiny little plug of soil. So I put them in the little starter container. But I just wanted to tell you about that because I just thought that was kind of neat. And I cannot believe they are less than 5 minutes away from my house, and I had no idea they even existed. But anyways, I hope everybody's had a really good day. I hope that you have a great week, and that you're going into this coming weekend, that you have a great weekend. And I hope that you also will enjoy some of the pictures that I am going to put up just for you to enjoy and see the beauty of God's beautiful creation. God bless, and I will, see you in just a bit. Today, we are going to be reading in Matthew chapter 6, and my emphasis is on verses 9 to 13, where we read the story where Jesus teaches his disciples to pray. But first, I want us to back up to verse 5, where Jesus is explaining to them that when they pray, to do it privately, not on the street corner or in the synagogues to be seen by people, and that when they give to charity, to do it in secret, because the Father in heaven knows what you've done, and he will reward you. And when you pray, don't repeat the same words over and over again, thinking that you'll be heard better because of your many words. Because our Father in heaven, he already knows what we need before we even ask. Then Jesus begins to give them a model prayer and tells them to pray this way: Our Father who is in heaven, hallowed is your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. And yes, I am aware that that very last line technically is not a part of the prayer. It was added later, but it sure is a beautiful emphasis on our God. Now, most of us know the Lord's Prayer well. And when Jesus taught his disciples to pray, he was summing up what his ministry was all about. And this prayer serves as a pattern for our own lives. The Lord's Prayer is much more than reciting certain words or a sentimental phrase. We are, in effect, declaring that we also want to be a part of Christ's mission. The focus turns away from ourselves and our problems to his work in the world and towards his view of what's forthcoming. The Lord's Prayer starts out by addressing God as Father. Our Father who is in heaven, hallowed be your name. Jesus tells us that we are personally related to the one true God. He is our Father who cares for us, and he watches over us. He is our Father, and we are his children. Just as Romans chapter 8, verse 15 tells us, for we have received the spirit of adoption as sons, by which we cry, Abba, Father. Next is hallowed be your name, or holy is his name. His name is to be honored and reminds us that we are addressing the one true Creator God. Yet there is intimacy from knowing that he is also our Father. God's name is deserving of the highest honor. Just as we read in Revelation chapter 4, verse 11, for he is worthy to receive glory and honor and power. We want the world to know how refreshingly different our God is. There is nothing on earth that satisfies like him. No one who understands like him, forgives like him, and is able to liberate like him. There is no one holy like the Lord. There is no one besides you. There is no rock like our God. That is 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 2. So with that, I want you to remember that yes, life happens, but we can still enjoy it. No matter what's happening, a pandemic, ups, downs, the loss of business, the loss of a loved one, our God is with us. Our God is for us, and he always sees the bigger picture. So the Lord's Prayer provides a pattern for us to offer genuine praise to the Father. As we bring our requests, our burdens, and our worries to him with thanksgiving and hope, we are also praying that our Father hears and responds to all who calls upon his name, for he truly is faithful. God bless, and I will talk to you again next week.